everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another beer review. I hope you guys are all doing very, very well. I am extremely tired. It's been a long weekend. I spent 3 days in the Moncton area, which is about 2.5 hours away from home, with my 9-month-old. And if any of you do have a 9-month-old or younger, or have a child who's been through 3 days away from home, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is definitely a learning curve. It's the first time I do it. More than likely will be the last that we leave at the home for that long. I do feel bad for her. She didn't get to sleep very, very often in the past weekend. I didn't get to sleep very much either, but who cares about that? The main thing is that she's back home. She's extremely happy. It's definitely crazy to think that she got back home a while ago, and at simply a 9-month-old, she knows when she's back home, she was happier than a pig in shit. It's not the same baby at all. So I'm really happy to see her back home. I'm happy to be back home. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing a review tonight, 15 minutes after I'm back in the house. I am desperately in need of a beer, but I don't have any other beer than these two here. I wanted to save these for separate episodes, but I think today's a 2-can show. Because I need 2 of them. Really thirsty for beer. It's been a long weekend. I'm super excited about that. So that's reason number 1 of this episode here. Reason number 2 is because there's something new about these 2 cans. They come from 2 different breweries altogether, but they do have something very new, very interesting about them. So let's start with this one here from Tire Shack Brewing out of the Moncton area. This is a brand spanking new brewery. They might have been open for, I don't know, maybe 2 months. That might be a little bit more than what they've been open for. Let's say they've been open. I think their opening night was the same night of the Atlantic Craft Brew Fest in Moncton, which was about like 3 weeks ago. So never mind 2 months. It's very, very young brewery. And I've been seeing so much of this brewery online on Facebook and Instagram. It's crowding up my news feeds. So that there alone is definitely intriguing enough to have me go in and check it out. I'm sure glad I did. I sadly did not get enough time to go inside the tap room and sit down and have a glass and talk with some people, because I did, like I mentioned, I had my 9-month-old with me. She was in the truck waiting for me to haul ass out of there. So I grabbed what I could, and I went packing back to see what else we could do in Moncton. But that place was packed on Saturday. It was unreal. I was very surprised to see such a new brewery as packed as it was. It was retarded how packed it was. At least 100 people in there. I know they did have an event on Saturday. I think it was having your dogs take pictures with Santa Claus, which is a great event. I absolutely love that. I love taking my dogs in the tap rooms. So a great event, but they had the place packed. It was hopping. Definitely the go-to place right now. It's hopping. It's new. It's fresh. So I did say about 3, because they had 3 cans. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but they do have 3 products in cans already, which is just mind-blowing that they have them already in cans. I had the Secret Society toasted marshmallow stout, which was really good. It was like a lighter mouthfeel stout, not too sweet. Very nice opening beer to start with. I really enjoyed it. And I had the Specialist Blonde Ale. Not the biggest fan of blondes altogether. That one there, I did enjoy it. Another thing that I really do like about Tire Shack is their branding. All their names really all line up. Well, like this one here, realignment. They kind of line up with the garage, the mechanic. So really, like it's like they found the space and they found the name, and the branding went with it. The cans look really awesome. All together so far, it's looking very, very nice. I love the 2 beers that I've had already. I saved this one here for the show because it is Juicy Pale Ale. I do like Juicy Pale Ales, of course. Who doesn't? But it's a Pale Ale at 6%. That's really strong for a Pale Ale. I can't say that I've noticed that I've had a Pale Ale at that ABV volume before. So this should be really interesting. I'm really excited about this one here. It does stand out with the ABV. It stands out with the label. So altogether, a can that is going to stand out for sure. So before we get too much into this one here, I think we should taste the Tire Shack Realignment Juicy Pale Ale. I think that would be a great start to the show. And then we'll get into this one here from Hammond River Brewing. I'm really excited about that one there too. So let's take a look at this one here and what we've got for color and aroma and taste and everything else in between. Very nice, clean color. Nice thick head on it. Looking good so far. Great aroma, citrus, tropical, grapefruit. It's looking very good so far. I'm really excited about trying this one out. So here it goes. Cheers to Tire Shack, and congratulations on opening up your brewery. Very happy about that. Wow. This is a pretty powerful pale ale. Very nice lingering bitterness on the back end. Very nice. This is a powerful pale ale. Very powerful. Great aroma to it. I'm really enjoying it. Fruity on the nose. Nice finish to it. Couldn't ask for better pale ale. Very nice. This is really, I'm really impressed for a brewery of that age coming out with such a great pale ale. Really impressed by it. I love the finish on it. You don't get pale ales very often that do have that level of bitterness on the back end. I'm a big fan of bitterness. This is great. I love it. Hop heads, get on this. You really like the bitterness lingering on the back end. Is very nice. I'm not 100% sure what they use for hops in this one here. I'm assuming there would be some Citra, of course. Maybe some Cascade. We'll see. I'd like to know what the hops were used. So if Tire Shack, you're watching this, the head brewer, let me know what the hops are. I'd love to know. Just for my curiosity and how far off I was in guessing the hops that were used. So let's move on. This is great. To cap off a long weekend with a 9-month-old. Very good. Now, let's move on to this one here. Hammond River's Cordelia. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Cordelia. This is the first product that they ever canned, if I'm not mistaken, which is a huge step for Hammond River. So hats off to them. So that's the two new things that were going on with these two cans. Tire Shack being a new brewery, and Hammond River, you all know who they are. They've been around for a pretty long time now. They're finally in cans, and this one here will soon be available throughout the province and on grocery shelves. Hopefully in the fridge. All right. If you're a manager at a grocery store and you're selling beer on room temp shelves, get some fridges. It dramatically influences the taste of the beer and the conservation of the beer. It'll ruin a beer very quickly. So get some fridges. It is very important. Very important. And you'll see me in your store buying it from your store if you got it in the fridge. So I'm very excited about this one here. The Cordelia. We'll say Cordelia. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right or not. This one here is a tribute to the Tragically Hip. Well, it was inspired by the Tragically Hip's Cordelia. Not that I'm not a fan of Tragically Hip. I absolutely love everything about them. I love. I just wasn't. I didn't listen to them all that much. It wasn't in my style of music that I did choose to listen to. But when I do listen to it, it comes on the radio or whatnot. I do crank it up a notch or so. But very good stuff. I just don't have the knowledge, sadly. I will try to educate myself. I did not get a chance to do so because I bought this yesterday and I really, really wanted a beer today, so I'll show you the episode today. So let's see on the back here. They got a little story written back here. This is an award-winning American-style IPA. It is as beautifully complex and powerful as its inspiration, the tragically hips Cordelia. The Citron Mosaic hops, it's going to be very good. Delivers aromas and flavors of grapefruit, tangerine, passion fruit, and it finishes with a lingering bitterness all hop fanatics demand. I am Cordelia, and I will be there. So far this thing here has got everything that I would want in an IPA. Another thing about this episode, I've never had any of these beer before, which is something that rarely happens on the show. I usually taste the beer beforehand, because I do buy many of them at a time. This time here, I only bought one of each. So there was no pre-tasting. So this is as blind as it gets. But I know Hammond River, they do great stuff. So I won't be surprised if this one here would be very, very good. And not often you see a can with purple on it. So this one here, as far as branding goes, massive standout. And it will stand out big time being a Hammond River in a can, because we're all used to seeing them in the big 500ml bottles. Which then again, those 500ml bottles that they use, they do stand out on their own as it is. It's not a style of bottle that's being used very often in New Brunswick. So hats off to these guys here for standing out. I like something that's different. So let's check it out. This one here is coming in at 7% ABV. Again, it's on the strong side. You know, IPAs will range from 6 to, most common ones be 6, 6.5. 7%, there's a little bit less in the market. And then you end up getting into doubles with this. I know 7.5 isn't necessarily a double, but you're 8% and up. And then it just becomes something else altogether. So let's check out what it'll be getting as color and aroma. Very nice color to it. Looking crisp, like a dark gold color. More like a copper, on the copper side of things. I don't know if you guys are catching this or not, or my hand was in the way. Nice head on it. Very nice aroma. You're getting that grapefruit, the passion fruit, tangerine. The tangerine is that one fruit that kind of sets it apart from the rest. A little bit sweeter. You can really tell it's there. It does stand out, the tangerine. They're alright. It's great. It's fruity on the nose. The tangerine brings in that sweetness, I find. On the back end, the bitterness just keeps on lingering and lingering and lingering. Very nice. It's a great mouthfeel to it. Wonderful. Altogether, a great IPA. This is wonderful. Very nice. Nice piney resin at the back end. Long lasting. Great all around, great IPA. You want to look for this one here in the grocery stores. I did find this one here in Moncton at, this one here was on the Moncton North AMBL. I can't remember if I seen it at the Regis Street one in Dieppe, but this one here, I got it at the Moncton North. I hope to see some in Bathurst. Please do send some up. Hammond River, if you're watching. We need some up north. It's great. It's a great beer. I'll push it as much as I can and look for it in the grocery stores. And same thing with Tire Shack. I hope these guys here will be in the liquor stores very soon. And especially, don't forget the north. Send them up here. And if they're not ordering breweries, let me know. I'll get in touch with AMBL, our local store here in Bathurst, and I'll give them the whip and try to get them to order some stuff. I really want to keep the selection as big as we can possibly get it, And the more New Brunswick beer that we can get in the stores, the better it is. And that's the whole point behind this great thing. There's so many great craft breweries in New Brunswick. We want to have as many as possible on the shelves. And that's what I like to see, because there's so much great stuff out there. Very, very good. And there's two great examples right here. The Realignment Juicy Pale Ale and the Cordelia IPA, which was absolutely amazing. Both of them were great beers in their own way. Two different styles. One was a pale ale, the other one was an IPA. But the pale ale here was a quite strong one. So they were great. Look for them. This one here you'll find it at the brewery only. But definitely head on over there, have a glass. It's a great looking tap room. If you can find a seat, because I seen it one day. I've seen a few videos on Instagram and stories. The place seems to be packed pretty often. So and there's no surprise. The beer is great. From what I've had so far, it's absolutely been wonderful. It's been recommended to me. So I'm very, very happy to finally get my hands on it. 2.5 weeks after they're open, which is great. This is wonderful. I'm getting some hands on fresh stuff. So very, very happy with that. And this one here hasn't been canned all that long ago either, so very fresh as well. So I'm very happy about that. On that note, we're going to give a quick shout out to the sponsors for making the show as good as it is. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We got old Bootlegger to thank for that. You can find them on Main Street in Bathurst, 100 Main Street. They've got 26 taps of craft beer, so make sure to head on over there. You will more than likely find something from Hammond River. Tire Shack, not yet. Hopefully they will be setting up some kegs, and we'll get them on tap as soon as we possibly can at Old Bootlegger. I want to give a big shout out again to Bass Fishing, who is currently hibernating until springtime, waxing his kayaks and getting things ready for the next bass fishing season, which I'm sure he is very anxious to start again. I am as well. So we're looking forward to that. Again, another big shout out to La Vie Est Belle Aesthetics Salon for being a sponsor on the show. If you need anything aesthetic done, whether you're getting your eyebrows done or whatever, I got my nostrils waxed, which was absolutely amazing. You can smell the beer better with some clear nostrils, and you don't look like a dork with nose hair sticking out. So a very big shout out to them. And of course, a big shout out to Authentic Ginger Clothing for being a sponsor on the show. Actually, there's going to be a contest coming on very soon. I just didn't get the details yet, but we're talking about a Christmas contest going on. So I'm very excited about that. Stay tuned for the details. They'll be out very, very soon. On that note, I'm going to double glass it. I'll cheers myself. Cheers, and we'll see you next time.